Hi everyone, Malcolm Brody here again for Human Vortex Training LLC, talking about riding your bike out in winter weather. We're going to talk about 30 degrees and below here, and we're talking about just dress. So what's really important when we're below 30 degrees is now it's already freezing outside. How do we stay nice and safe and dry, number one, and warm when we're out there riding in winter weather and enjoying the beautiful sunny days, although they may be short? Again, we want to stay dry and warm, so what we're going to talk about again is a nice base layer, starting with the upper body. We want to make sure you can get a higher, instead of a mock neck, you can get a full turtleneck. Some of those out there will like that. And it's really important to remember that as we go through this, we want to make sure that we're keeping the wind off of our body as much as possible. So we want to have a nice medium to heavy base layer, depending on how heavy you sweat and your personal level of comfort while you're out riding there. But this is mine. I'm a heavy sweater. I like the Under Armour. This is a medium base layer for me. This is a compression, skin tight fitting, and it wicks moisture. Again, we want to stay dry and warm. So moisture wicking is important. You can also use a wool base layer. Those are phenomenal. I don't have one yet. I keep on meaning to get one, but the wool base layers, in my opinion, are the best. I borrowed a couple other people's before, and they were phenomenal. Paul, thank you for lending that to me. It changed my life. So wool base layers are the best because they're dry and warm. They'll pull that moisture away. That doesn't mean take your wool sweater out of the closet. It's stitched a certain way, so you're not going to get chafing around the arms and the back. But we want to start off with a nice comfortable base layer for us that's skin fitting, and I generally like to recommend the full length sleeve because we want to, again, keep that wind off of us as much as possible. Now, next, what we can do is we can do either this awesome Champsis jacket. This is the heavy winter jacket they produce. It's nice and fleece on the inside. Like we talked about last time, it has the windproof front with a little bit of at the bottom, which is not windproof, and that's wonderful. I was very happy when I rode with this because it really allows you to breathe. And it has the double zipper in the front, which is great because we can vent without exposing our chest to the wind just by zipping that lower zipper up. Then, the nice thing about this, another nice thing, is that it has non-windproof sleeves, which allows you to thermoregulate and get that sweat off you and allows you to vent. Now, we may get into a point where once you're below really 20 degrees, it's about staying as warm as possible, and that's when we're getting into the point where we want to use a shell. This is windproof, waterproof, so again, you want to vent the bottom. You can use this with either a nice moderate or heavy winter base layer, a long sleeve jersey you can use it with, and then you can have that medium or light base layer underneath that, and you can use that to thermoregulate, but it's about dressing in layers, so you can zip up and down 1 or 2 layers to thermoregulate. So really comfortable. You can use the shell if it's below 20 degrees, as well as a medium or heavy winter jersey that we have here. This is the About Time Cycling Team. This is the fleece, full length. Again, the bottom sleeves of these have stretchies on them to help the wind from coming in, and this is a mock neck, which we can use. So that's for our trunk here, which is the most important for the most part, because that's going to catch the most wind. Now, what about our heads? Because we talked about in our first video here that about 80% of our body heat's lost through our head because there's so many small capillaries there. Well, aside from getting a winter helmet or a cycling cap, something that we want to be concerned with are our ears, our nose, and our mouth, especially below 30 degrees. So what we have here, and please don't get scared here, but we have a balaclava, not baklava, a balaclava. It's not a dessert, it's a head cover. So don't make that mistake and go in and ask for baklava because they'll look at you like you're crazy. And it was an entertaining experience. So there are different balaclavas out there. This one I really like because it allows me to cover my full forehead. And when I'm working hard, I can pull this down and cover just my lower lip so I'm not getting foggy in my glasses. Again, we want to be wearing those glasses. And when it gets really cold, I can cover my nose and my mouth, or I can alternate up and down. And we want to keep as little skin exposed to the wind as possible, and that's extremely important because frostbite is a very serious consideration anytime we get really below 40. So the balaclava is going to help keep that heat in. You may or may not want to wear this with a cycling hat, depending on how cold it is. Personally, if I'm wearing the balaclava, I'm wearing it with the helmet, and that's it. I'm not wearing anything else on top of it, even when it's really, really cold outside. I just feel comfortable there. And again, it is all about your comfort. So we have the proper eyewear as well that goes along with that. The next thing we want to talk about is we're going to talk about our legs and our lower portion. So there are a couple of different options that you have depending on your comfort level and how cold it is outside. So personally, down to about 22 degrees-ish, I'll wear just these heavy, these are Champsis heavy fleece winter long pants, bib shorts. I'll wear these down to about 22 degrees. They're not a windproof front, and that's going to be a consideration because, again, you're catching all that wind on you. So you want to pay attention to the temperature outside and also how much wind is there going to be today. If it's going to be windy or it's below, actually 25, I should say, what I like to wear are these Castelli NanoFlex windproof front bib short, long winter bib shorts, and these are a little bit lighter. They also have a thicker one, which I have packed away right now because it's not cold enough for it yet. But these are completely windproof on the front. These are excellent. It's not going to bunch up on you, and I will tell you what, when you ride with these and it's windy outside below 32 or anytime it's below 25 for me, it is a big difference over the standard winter fleece, because when that wind comes, it stings. It really hurts. And in another post that you'll see here in a little bit, we'll talk about some extras that you can purchase to help you decrease that sting. But these are the windproof bib shorts by Castelli. Again, there are lots of different brands out there. This is just the one that I personally like. I really like the bib itself, and then the chamois that they have in here is not heavy and bulky, but is incredibly comfortable. This is 2010's version, and that's the nice thing about winter equipment. When you go to buy winter equipment, do a couple things. Think about how much am I actually going to ride in the winter, and spend a little bit of extra to be more comfortable. It is not the time of year to skimp. I strongly recommend making sure you're spending on quality equipment, not just buying something offline. But these are very comfortable, windproof, full front windproof. So I will wear this, a medium or heavy base layer, hopefully a wool base layer this year, as well as that pit jacket that we saw that has the windproof front and the arms that are not. I'll be comfortable in that down to about 20 degrees. Once we get below 20 degrees, I'll wear the full windproof and waterproof shell and let it vent at the bottom a little bit. So that's our core. We have a medium to heavy base layer, we have a long sleeve winter jersey, and then we have a windproof, at least chest, if not the whole thing. And you can also purchase a windproof base layer, although at that temperature range, unless you're going to be zipping up and down, which you shouldn't, you just want a regular base layer. Now, for our hands, we talked about last time, we're going to see these gloves come in again. I have these gloves, which are the Jordana. These are the 5-finger gloves. Personally, I also have a pair of the lobster gloves. I have a pair that are lobster like this and a pair that are lobster like this. So something that's really important, you want to have as many fingers as possible to help keep you warm. And then I definitely will tell you, you want to ride with hand warmers and foot warmers or toe warmers. And again, those hand warmers go right in the crease here. That long sleeve jersey is going to come down so you can tuck it into that sleeve, put the glove on top. I do not recommend putting it into the palm of your hand. It affects how you handle the bike and what you're able to do. And these gloves are already a little bulky. These are thin but bulky for guiding a bicycle and doing the fine motor skills of changing gears. And again, you want to don't wear regular gloves because these have padding built into them and sticky to help make sure you're hitting the things. The last thing you want to do is go to change gears or grab the brakes and your fingers slide right off because it's wool or knit. So you want to have good quality, warm, windproof gloves. I strongly recommend the lobster gloves, either this way or this way. Doesn't matter. The more fingers together, the better off. And at this point, if you're going to eat on the bike, it should be a water bottle. And we'll talk about nutrition during the winter here as well, but it should be a water bottle with some type of electrolyte and a plain water bottle. And also the goos in the back pocket, you're probably going to want to stop to eat those so your fingers don't get frozen when you go to take them out. But it is a good time of year to train for that. Now, your feet. Anything below 30 degrees, definitely below 20 degrees, I strongly will encourage you, and I will use the term implore. I will beg you, go out and purchase winter shoes. If you're going to be riding in that type of weather regularly, especially if you're commuting, you want to make sure that you are purchasing equipment that's going to keep your digits safe and warm and dry. Dry, safe, warm in that order, because what we want to do is we don't want to have frostbite every time we get off the bike. So again, I don't have my CD Hydrolite 2 shoes here, but what I do have are my summer shoes with a neoprene sleeve, the CD Hydrolite 2, and any good quality winter shoe is going to be waterproof, windproof and will not allow the air necessarily to come in. It'll keep you nice and dry. It'll look similar to this. It'll be nice and heavy duty. You have a couple different latches on it. This is a summer shoe with the neoprene cover over it. Again, you want to put the packaging tape on the inside of the shoe. Take the insert out. You'll see the vents at the bottom, and then you can put the packaging tape, the clear packaging tape on the bottom over those vents, and put your insert back over top of that, and that'll help make it a little more wind resistant, not windproof. But this is the neoprene you definitely want to have. It's going to keep you warm and dry. Don't get me wrong, these will absorb water after a little bit. It can only take so much, but these will help keep you warmer in cold weather. And there are heavier covers out there that are waterproof and windproof and are made for cycling below freezing, and you want to look into those. There are lots of different versions out there that you can look into, but this is what I used to wear, and my feet would be freezing, but I would ride 3-4 hours in the winter in these smartly. And you can also use the toe warmers again. Take the toe warmers out, take the hand warmers out while you're getting dressed. They need to be in the air for at least 15 minutes before you use them. Stick them right on top of the toes right here, and that way you can bring your toes up and warm up a little bit. Or if your shoes are a little bit bigger, you can actually put these inside. So some winter riding below 20 degrees, keep as much of your skin covered as possible. That is not the time to wear knickers. You should have zero exposed skin, as much windproof on your front as possible. You want to have your digits covered, you want to have your ears covered, you want to have your feet covered and dry. And remember, you do want to drink, and we'll talk about that here in another segment for our Ask the Coach segment. So that's going to conclude our segments on winter riding. And again, this is 30 degrees and below, so keeping you nice and warm. It's a wonderful time of year to ride, as long as it's safe and dry. Check out our next video here that we're going to have that is about how to ride safely in the winter and some special winter considerations when you're riding outdoors. Thank you guys. Remember, train smarter, not harder. It's all about you, and enjoy that winter snow and the snowflakes when they're hitting your face as you're riding around and everybody else is stuck on the trainer. Have a great week, guys.